Hello,
Hello.
and welcome to the Burnt Ham podcast, which is the podcast we don't have an intro for yet.
This is episode 5.
And it should be 5 of 10 million. Right, so this week we got a banger for you because we listened to an album by French electropop duo Air called Talkie, Walkie. I think this album predates, it's either 2001 or 2004 and I cannot remember.
I don't know what day it is. I can look it up quickly.
Yeah, go for it. But yeah, both me and Tom listened to this album and we'd like to share our thoughts with you on it. It's a bit of a more obscure one than the mainstream Random Access Memories, but it's still brilliant.
2004 it's from.
2004, yeah. So around the same time of Daft
Yeah.
Punk's kind of rise to fame.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's due to the resurgence of synthesizers, because in the 60s and 70s there were a lot of analog synths that got made, and then apparently they all got sold to pawn shops in the 80s and 90s when digital synth technology kind of took over, and then all the cool hipsters bought the analog synths and decided to make music with them, and then the price of them went really high. They're so expensive now, like proper old school 60s, 70s analog synth. But without further ado, let's get into this album, shall we?
Yeah, so this album, I'd never heard of it. I've heard of Air, and I've heard a couple of the songs just because of George, but I haven't really listened to the album, so this is just kind of I've just listened to it a few times, so these are just my first initial thoughts.
I didn't write any notes on this, by the way, because I've just listened to it a million times over, so it's a bit of a more free structure, I think, this time. Do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so the first song, we're just going to go in order again, is Venus.
Yeah.
So this is quite a soft, slow, like floaty kind of song. And
That's the end.
that's the end. That's the song.
Thanks for listening. Hope you
You're welcome, everyone. So
No, that's actually
I thought this was quite an average song in my opinion.
Yeah,
I guess it's just setting the scene of the album again.
I'm gonna rate each song by how much I listen to them individually rather than the album as a whole, because these songs are dotted throughout my playlist, and occasionally I just go back and listen to the whole thing, kind of like a nostalgia trip, if I'm honest, because when I was in university for the first time, I listened to it millions and millions of times. So yeah, Venus, okay song, straight down the middle.
Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts
No
on it.
complaints, really.
I like the kind of synthy melody that kind of starts playing halfway through. I remember
Yeah,
that kind of made it interesting for me.
And then it goes and so on and so forth.
And so on for eternity.
Yeah, the second half of the song is better when the two French guys shut up and stop singing.
Yeah.
Although, interestingly, the vocals throughout the whole album I do quite enjoy, because it's a very soft,
It is
airy,
very soft.
aptly named, you know.
Mm.
There you go. But I don't really have anything else to say.
Yeah,
on Venus
neither do
except for
I.
like the second half more.
So moving swiftly on to the second song, Cherry Blossom Girl.
Oh yes.
Now this song was one of my favourites. I really enjoyed this song.
It's one of my favourites.
Yeah,
as well.
it's got like cool, dreamy, like vocals to it.
Yeah, there's a flute.
Yeah, that's what I was about to. I've literally got it written down. Cool flute noises, and a nice guitar, which plays over the top as well.
Oh yeah, there's the kind of semi-acoustic kind of sounding guitar.
Yeah,
It just, I think it plays that riff throughout the whole song without stopping. Oh, that reminds me, at the end, there's this unresolved chord, and they keep holding on it, and there's a keyboard with just going out throughout, and they hold this for like half a minute or something, and then they just end on this unresolved chord. It's pretty cool.
I did not notice that.
Last bit of the song.
I don't remember it well enough.
Yeah,
I'm literally just going by my notes for this, unfortunately.
I have to apologise for the sniffing as well, because I'm allergic to dust and pollen and anything that comes off of the ground or the floor.
Anything that shouldn't harm you harms
Yeah,
you.
pretty much. But that's irrelevant to air.
That is well, it is a little bit correlated.
I suppose just by...
You're allergic to some stuff in the air.
Yeah, semantics, yeah. I think the next song after Cherry Blossom Girl is Run.
Is Run.
Yeah.
So this song George has played to me before. So I do kind of have heard this song before. And another song that I quite enjoyed. And I like the kind of like sounds in it. I don't know why, but...
Yeah, at the end of each phrase there's this... I don't know what it is. It's just like a synthy drum machine sounding thing, and as you heard, Tom, it just goes at the end of each phrase, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know why I like that bit so much, but that was kind of my favourite part of the song. Yeah. And also, because they're French, they start saying run, and then it turns into ren.
Ren.
They just start going ren.
And then
Which I just found funny.
They end up like modulating the voice to the point where it goes ba 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 ba.
Yeah, this song was pretty weird, but I actually really enjoyed it.
My favourite thing about it, I think, is there's like sort of this percussion instrument. I don't know what it is, but it just does quavers each like throughout the song, or eighth notes, whatever you want to call them, and it just sounds like footsteps of someone running. It's a pretty cool little nugget they put in there, little Easter egg, I guess, for the attentive listeners.
Wow, I don't remember that.
You'd probably realise if you
yeah, if I heard it right now, maybe I would.
Mm-hmm.
And now moving on to Universal Traveller.
I'm sorry, you said that wrong. It's actually Universal Traveller.
That's what I was about. That was my first point. They don't say Universal Traveller. They say Universal.
It's
I can't.
Universal Traveller.
I can remember the Traveller.
Yeah.
bit.
I went for the longest time not knowing what they were saying in the chorus, and then it dawned on me. Oh, this song's called Universal Traveller.
Yeah,
They're French, that's
so
why they're
they
saying
just
it differently.
Say it weirdly.
Not weirdly.
It is weird to me because it's not normal.
Not British.
How dare they not have perfect English accents whilst they're singing?
How despicable. Me, an English listener, having to listen to French accents.
So for this song, I thought it was pretty cool, but I did get bored near the end. I found they didn't change it up enough. So.
Oh, I just realised something.
What?
You know, I was talking about something at the end of Cherry Blossom Girl.
Yeah.
And I can't remember whether it's at the end of this one or not.
Oh.
And I can't remember whether the flute solo is this one or not. The flute solo was Cherry Blossom Girl.
Yeah, I did write cool flute on Cherry Blossom Girl, so
scrap that.
That's got to be in Cherry Blossom Girl.
So never mind. Ignore the last 20 seconds because I got confused.
How dare you get confused? This is a podcast. People are listening to this. It's unacceptable.
People have come here specifically to hear us talk about early noughties pop albums.
You ruin it like that.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, I really don't have much to say about this song, unfortunately. I just thought it was like meh.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember this song now.
You do remember it, other than they pronounce Universal Traveller
yeah.
weird.
I think the lyrics are really funny in this song. Not funny as in they're a bit weird. They're funny as in just funny, because There's a line which cracks me up every time, and it's, "I've got many friends who will care for me."
Oh yeah, I remember that bit.
The
That bit
lyrics
is
are
pretty
really
funny.
weird. It's nice, but also just not what I'd write personally.
Yeah. Okay. Now on to Mike Mills.
Mike's Meals.
Mike's Meals on Wheels. So this one I thought was kind of the same as Universal Traveller. I just thought it was okay. It was just a bit slow. Just a lot of these songs I just found were a little bit too slow.
Yeah.
I get that that's kind of the point, but I guess
Yeah.
it just isn't really for me.
Yeah, the album as a whole is this kind of dreamy trance of light synths and light vocals and little beats and
Little
hooks.
bits of percussion
Yeah.
every now and again.
And this one kind of exemplifies the instrumentation in the rest of the album, because I think this song does not have lyrics, if I'm right in saying.
I'm pretty sure that's correct, but
Yeah.
I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure that's true.
It's kind of like a little interlude, and you just sit with. It's sort of a sample of the rest of the album, is the way I see it. This is why I don't have it in my playlist on its own, but overall, probably the worst song on the album.
We'll get on to that.
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
So, yeah, I thought okay again is what I've got written down. So moving swiftly on to a much better song, in my opinion, Surfing on a Rocket.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love this song.
This is my favourite song, I think, from the album. I just like how it just instantly is like way faster than Mike Mills. You're just instantly like, whoa, let's go. And it's just a cool little quick intro. You've got a bit of bass.
Yeah, it just hits the bass a couple of times at the start of each
which
phrase.
is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they kept it a little bit more interesting. I don't know what that actually means, but that's what I wrote down. So
yeah, the instruments are a bit more varied, I'd say. They don't stick. Actually, no, not all the instruments. Just the guitar is a bit more varied. It kind of moves with the vocals better than some of the other songs, rather than just carrying on doing what it's been doing for the past 2 minutes. You get a chorus riff and a verse riff.
yeah,
I really like the verse riff. It goes from it's kind of dominant 7 arpeggiation, I guess. And
why are you talking about music theory? I can't help you with this, unfortunately, George.
just in case anyone knows what I'm on about, I haven't said
Maybe
it.
someone at home knows.
And then it goes into the chorus with this kind of more muted sound and refrains slightly, but then it says surfing on a rocket.
Yeah, and
Surfing on a rocket.
talking about surfing on a rocket, that sounds pretty epic. So that's maybe why this is the best song, because that sounds pretty epic.
I actually have no clue what this song is about. Surfing on a rocket. What are they talking about?
It's about surfing on a rocket.
Somehow I just knew you were going to say that.
You're meant to take it very literally.
So
And they surfed on a rocket, then wrote a song based on it.
So you're telling me that these men have stood on Apollo 11 or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Glad I know that now.
it was pretty epic, they said.
Yeah, they did enjoy it by the sounds of it.
Now on to, unless you have anything more to say about surfing on a rocket.
No, I like to look like I'm preemptively gonna say something.
Keep me on my toes, I guess.
Yes.
And now we've got another day, and they just say it's just another day multiple times in the song, but I've got written just another song, which is pretty cool slam on the song, unfortunately.
It's kind of a bit more of a sadder one. It's just someone like, it's another day. I'm not going to win this time either, so I'm just going to give up on hope and carry on doing whatever he does in his day.
Yeah, and I feel like by making the song Another Day, and I kind of get what it's about, that it's just another day, blah, blah, blah. It's just, but I just didn't find the song interesting because of that. I feel like they made the song too good about what they were trying to describe and just made it uninteresting.
Yeah, I don't particularly like this song. I guess in the overall greater narrative of the album, maybe these two guys go surfing on rockets on weekends, and then it comes to Monday and they're like,
oh, not again.
Day. I mean this semi-seriously, if I'm honest. I started to say that kind of joking completely, and then I thought, well, maybe this album is about some weird lifestyle. I don't know.
Maybe it is. You never know.
I'm no Anthony Fantana.
I guess this song is important in the storytelling of the album, but just as the track by itself, it's not that good.
Good bit of coffee there.
Wow. Nice bit of ASMR. Thank you, George.
Let's not talk about Another Day anymore.
Let's not talk about Another Day. And let's talk about Alpha Beta Gaga next.
Is it not Alpha Beta Gang?
No, it's Gaga.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've read it as Gang.
It literally says Alpha, Beta and Gaga on the single.
Really?
Yeah, really, really. Like for realsies, man.
Gaga? As in Lady Gaga? Oh
yeah,
my God.
as in Lady Gaga, yeah.
Jesus, I've been reading this as
how have you
Alpha
got this?
Beta Gang.
What is wrong with you?
For the past year.
Can you not read?
Apparently not. That's quite funny.
That is pretty weird. But I'm glad you know now, so that in case you speak to any Air fans, you will not have any egg on your face.
No eggs on my face, thank you.
So I quite enjoyed this song. I enjoyed it. It's fast, the tempo, and it just immediately just brought it back from Another Day.
It does kind of revive it. If I was to sum this up in one sentence, it would be because that happens like throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much the whole song. And then you've got a banjo starts playing about halfway through, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you got some people whistling in the background. That was very accurate. Good job.
That's about as close as I could get. Yeah, this one doesn't have vocals in it. Well, it has vocals in the sense that there's a crowd in the background. So I guess they're in like Paris, France or something.
La Paris.
Yeah. C'est la vie or I don't know how to speak French.
Neither. Yeah, but no, I don't think there was any vocals in this song.
Yeah, but there is the stomping banjo, as you mentioned.
There is the banjo, which carries the whole song.
Yeah, sadly it only appears and disappears for a portion. I think it ends on it, actually.
I do not remember, unfortunately.
Another thing I do remember from this song is absolutely nothing, because I just realised we covered what I was going to mention.
Excellent. Moving on.
Yeah, let's move on
to biological.
Biological.
There we go.
Yeah.
I managed to say biological. Well done, me. And now the banjo is back in biological, and this bit slower again. And I thought this was one of the worst songs.
Yeah.
I feel like you wait for something to happen, and in 4 minutes in, I've written that something happens. I don't know what happens because I didn't write it down, but yeah, I feel like, again, with same as Another Day, kind of the two of the worst songs from this album, in my opinion.
I don't really like this song in any respect. disrespect, if I'm honest. This song I completely skip every time I listen to the album.
Fair enough.
There was one thing I wanted to mention about it, and that was the meaning of the lyrics. Because he's saying, I want to be biological with you. I guess that's just like a euphemism for super happy, fun time when mummy and daddy love each other very much.
Doing some wrestling.
No, hardcore anal sex.
Wow. I didn't want to think about that. But maybe that's what he means by biological.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound it though.
I
I would think that the song would sound different if it's about that though.
I think it's just more of a love thing, to be honest.
Mm.
Maybe a sexual thing, but not necessarily anal. I don't know. This guy might be super Freudian. We don't know the answers.
We would never know without talking to him.
And since they're both dead, we will never know. Actually, that's not true. I don't know if they are.
I have no
I hope
idea.
not.
It was made in 2004,
Yeah.
so that's not that long ago.
If I could see these two, I would. Let's see. Right. Producers have just told us that Air don't seem to be dead. They
Don't seem to be
seem
dead.
to be
That's
going.
excellent news.
Yes. Well, that's good to know, because now we can go see them and live stream it and make loads of money off their concert for free.
Yeah, just record their music and play it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good idea. Anyway. Is that the last? No, the last song.
The last that was the second to last song. Now with the last song,
It's a
Alone
weird
in
song.
Kyoto. Is that how you pronounce it? Kyoto?
No. It's Alone in Kyoto.
Kyoto. Okay.
Yeah.
I do apologise.
Which is a city in Japan. It's the one with the walkway with all those red arches.
Oh yeah,
You know what
kind
I'm
of
talking
like
about?
the temple
Yeah,
kind
that
of
thing. Like,
place.
there's a pagoda and stuff. If you see pictures of it, it looks...
It does look pretty
incredibly
epic.
beautiful, but I'm not going to Japan because it's really far away. Well, that's not the reason. It's way too expensive.
And so for this song, I thought this was a pretty good outro to the whole album. It makes sense that it's the last one because like near the end, you've just got just the piano left with the water/waves sounds.
Yeah.
And then it's just waves. And
Yes.
then does that mean he's alone when you've just got the waves playing?
I don't know. Just think you fizzle out and kind of become one with the surroundings that
Whoa.
the album has put you in.
I guess so.
I don't know. It's hard to tell, but I think this song's really cool.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed this song.
I don't always listen to it because it is like 4 minutes long.
Yeah.
Which is quite long for what it is, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely not the worst song on the album.
Yeah, not the worst song.
Oh, actually, I've got a little anecdote about this song.
Okay, hit
So-
me.
The other day, I was listening to some of the songs on Talkie Walkie to prepare for this installment, and I looked at my phone, put it back in my pocket, as you do. I was walking through town, had my headphones on, whatnot, you know how it is. And I put my phone in my pocket, and then the waves at the end of the song didn't stop, and I was like, is this seriously still the song? I don't remember it going on.
It does
this long.
go on a long time, to be fair.
But then I look at my phone and Among Us is open, and the Among Us main menu sounds are playing.
What?
Yeah.
How did that even happen?
I think when I put my phone back in my pocket, I must have pocket opened Among Us.
Wow.
I don't know why I had
That's
it.
pretty weird.
Yeah.
And then you just thought this song was going on for
I was
ages.
really confused because I was like, this sounds incredibly similar, but I'm pretty sure that this song does not go on this one.
That is a weird story.
Yeah, pretty odd.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Now on to my conclusion about the album.
Oh, yeah.
I gave it a rating of pretty good. And I thought it was nice and relaxing, kind of dreamy, spacey, those kind of things.
Yeah.
So I thought if you're in the mood for that kind of frame of mind, then I think this is a good album. But I probably wouldn't listen to the album like the whole way through unless I really needed to put myself in that kind of mood.
Yeah. So I really like this album. Maybe slightly biased just because it fits to my taste quite well. But I'd say it's quite strong. Probably the best album I've heard from Air. And as with Tom, I don't listen to this album unless I'm in a certain mood. I don't know. It just kind of, all of a sudden I'm like, oh yeah, I'll listen to Talkie, Walkie again, because why not?
Yeah.
Usually when I'm sad, if I'm perfectly honest. Because it does have a kind of melancholy.
Yeah, it does. It's just kind of, I don't know.
It's kind of, I don't know.
It's kind of, I don't know. Thank you for that excellent description, Thomas. That was very helpful. I'm just going to rate it 6 out of 10. There you go. That's going to be my final conclusion.
I'm going 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Which defeats the object of rating 1 to 10.
Yeah.
So you're meant to use integers. So 65 out of 100.
Good job.
Thank
now
you.
you've used an integer.
Yes.
So is that the end of our talk about Air then?
I guess. Actually,
not Air as a whole. I mean Talkie Walkie, sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's not actually. We need to say whether we recommend this or not.
Well, I hope that people can tell from my description whether I'd recommend it or not. So I would just say that if you're wanting that kind of album, kind of almost background music is how I'd describe it, then if you just want something calm, peaceful to put on, go for it.
Yeah, if you're the kind of person who puts on a little symphony sometimes to relax, and you also so happen to fall into the same bracket as an electronic music fan, then yeah, listen to it. But if you don't qualify for both of those things, I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it to a general audience.
No, neither, because I think it's just not very mainstream.
It's a bit more, I don't know, just kind of
niche,
arty, yeah, minimalistic kind of. But I really don't think I can say any more on the album.
Yeah, neither. That's kind of it.
Random Access Memories was definitely easier to talk about.
Yeah, because
there's just a lot more.
It's just pretty epic.
Pretty epic.
That's my rating. That's how I rate songs.
So right now on the album tier list, we've got Talkie Walkie as pretty good, and then Random Access Memories is pretty epic.
Yes.
We should keep track of the rating list for albums if we're going to continue to listen.
Yeah, if we keep doing this, then we could have a little
chart that
and then everyone would be like, "Wow, that's a lot of music albums."
That is a lot of albums. 2.
Yeah, 2. I have so much knowledge about music now.
I am really a music nerd now.
I think maybe we should listen to not an electric album for our next one if we're going to do this again.
Quite amusingly, the album I suggested listening to is quite synth based, so we'll leave that one for a while.
Yeah, okay.
So actually, what we'll do is we'll mention it a little bit after the break, because I think we're coming up to an appropriate break time.
That's fair enough.
Speaking of appropriate break times, let's go and talk not on mic for a moment.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say something, but
I wasn't.
Brilliant. Well, on that note, be right back. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone. And we've got a few little updates.
Some announcements. Announcer,
So coming up soon on the Burnt Ham podcast, we have
D'Artagnan and the Three Musket Hounds, Tron Legacy, Monster Hunters. So these are 3 films I've noted down that must be watched.
Yeah, we keep meaning to watch Tron, but we have still not done it yet. We still haven't found the time.
This is the second week where we've planned to watch Tron.
I just haven't.
I was going to watch it yesterday, but then I just didn't, if I'm honest. I got busy doing other stuff like making chili.
That's fair enough. Food before films.
No, food and films.
Food and films, good combo.
Yeah, I'll tease each movie a little bit. So, yeah, as Tom said, these are things that I want to force Tom to watch, / we both want to watch.
You want to force me to watch some bad films?
Well, D'Artagnan's not going to be good. Or D'Artagnan, I don't know how to say that. The Three Musket Hounds. So, this movie is a pile of poo by the looks of it. It's a kid's film and I'm not looking forward to watching it, but it might have some substance. Tron Legacy. Nice.
Leg-NC.
So Tron
Log-NC.
Tron Legacy.
It's not about logs.
It's not about logarithms. It's not about legacies. I don't know what it's about. It's about people on bikes with lines that you can't cross.
It's about going into a game.
Yeah, I think it's an adaptation on GTA 5's arena game, if I'm honest.
Yes.
And then we've got Monster Hunters, which has got Mila Jovovich in it. I think that's her name. And she's the lady that played the lead lady in Resident Evil. I don't remember the name because all those movies were bad, but she was the one good thing about the Resident Evil movie series. I don't know if you've seen that, but don't.
I have not. I don't know what you talk about. I'm sorry.
Maybe one day we'll have to watch them, and they're really not good.
Okay.
Comment bless you if you want to bless me from the demons within.
Sneezes are just demons trying to exit your body.
Also, the cavemen thought. Cavemen. Cave women as well, actually. Cave people, actually, is probably the best term.
Maybe.
I don't think they had concepts of gender as cave people.
I don't want to speak about cavemen's genders, as I don't know enough about cavemen's genders.
No, it's probably not worth getting into. Yeah, before Tom brings the house down with some spicy topics, I just want to mention some things we did. We watched a movie called Dead Snow, which is a Norwegian film. Directed by someone I can't remember.
A Norwegian Nazi zombie film.
Yeah.
To be more specific.
True, which is made by people that are very fond of pop culture. Like, there are references to Evil Dead series and Terminator, and it's really annoying. It takes you right out of the movie. Really
not that you're really into the movie during the movie.
No.
Spoilers, sorry.
So that's something we might talk about in the future.
I don't even know if I can bring myself to talk about it, to be honest.
Okay, well,
I didn't enjoy it enough.
Yeah, if we're running out of things at the end of this episode,
maybe we'll claw some content.
You don't have
from talking about something snow. I can't even remember the name of it now.
Dead Snow. If you really don't want to talk about it, then I will talk by myself. And there's one last thing that I wanted to mention, which is King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard's new album called Butterfly 3000, which uses a lot of synths and stuff.
So we will be reviewing that album soon. I'm yet to listen to it, so
I've got literally pages of notes written on it. I don't know how I've talked so much about it, just because it does sound quite similar throughout, but that's a discussion for another time.
Yeah, so hopefully on another episode we're also going to talk about Butterfly 3000.
All these
And
promises.
All these promises that are not going to come true. Sorry, we're just going to talk about something else. Unlucky.
At least you get to listen to hear me blow my nose more.
Yes. So, on to my weird topics. Yay.
Ooh.
Are you excited? So the first thing I
good.
have written down isn't really that interesting, but hopefully it can open up a discussion. And when I was at Weatherspoons the other day,
Mhm.
some guy just stood right next to me at the urinal, breaching bro codes.
Yeah.
And when it was completely empty, it was just me, and he stood next to me on the next one over of the urinal, and I just thought, that's unacceptable. But of
What-
course I did not say that because I'm British.
What a tube of anusol that person is.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it.
Actually, no, he's more akin to a hemorrhoid because they're...
He's a right pain in my bottom.
Yeah. I don't know why people feel the need to go to the urinal next to you.
Yeah, I don't know why it's so weird, but it just is.
Maybe there are some people that just love breaking taboo and...
Maybe breaking boundaries down.
Yeah. Kind of like how the Concorde broke the sonic boundary.
The speed of sound.
That guy is basically the Concorde.
Maybe he is, or maybe he's just someone who wants other people to feel uncomfortable.
Or other people to get jealous of his massive schlong.
Maybe. I did not glance,
No,
as I
didn't
thought
too.
that would worsen the situation, so
Oh,
we
yeah.
will never know. Maybe he did have a massive schlong and he was trying to show me. Who knows?
Anything else you want to add to that?
Unfortunately not. That really did not last long.
Actually, I've got a question.
Whoa.
about it.
Okay, let's go.
Was I there on this Weatherspoons fateful night? Or was this the time? when I
I'm
was
pretty
absent?
sure you were, yeah.
Oh, you should have said then, and we could have planned to kill this person.
We could have. I'm pretty sure I did mention it at the time.
Ooh.
Anyway, the next thing is this is gonna blow some people's minds.
This is gonna bring down the house.
Are car washing companies genetically engineering seagulls to produce more poo?
What?
So
What did you think of this?
So recently, the weather's been getting a lot nicer. So it hasn't been raining as much. So, because we live near the seaside, there's a lot of seagulls where we live, which is really annoying. But let's not go into the fact. Well, we are kind of going into the fact of how annoying seagulls are. But basically, seagulls seem to target nicer, like more shiny cars. I don't know if you've noticed this as well.
I haven't.
But anyway, my car, because it's pretty old, like the paint's faded, blah, 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 doesn't seem to ever get bird shit on it. But my dad's car is a bit newer and it gets covered in bird shit. So, are car washing companies genetically modifying seagulls so they shit on the nicer cars because they're more likely to go to a car washing company to get it cleaned because they're too lazy to do it themselves? So is this a thing that's happening, or is it just a figment of my imagination?
I can't tell if you're being serious or not.
I'm obviously joking, but
Okay.
I just find it pretty funny that would be something that could happen. Like, it could happen, but I don't think it is. 'Cause that'd be really weird.
Yeah, as absurd as it is, that is totally possible, I guess. Oh, the government is making seagulls
Making seagulls
poo more.
So they're making more money because we have to wash our cars so often.
Haha, more tax. Short answer, definitely no. But the long answer is, how would they make them poo more? Do they just feed them laxatives then?
I don't know if there's something you could do to a seagull to make it have.
Well, let's get to the bottom of this.
Let's get to the bottom of this. How would you do that? That's a very good question.
So
So you'd make them bigger, I would assume, to make them have to eat more
Yeah.
to then produce more fecal matter.
So fatten them up, you know.
Fatten them up. Maybe have a food bank for them.
Yeah, have like a vat of lard which they can just swim around in and like drink.
Jesus, that's a disgusting image.
And if they stay in it too long, then they get boiled alive, and the other seagulls eat deep fried seagull.
Oh, that's just horrible.
Yeah, that
Oh.
is vile. Yeah, but the government's corrupt and all that, isn't it?
Yeah, so maybe they do this.
I highly doubt it. No, actually, I don't highly doubt it.
No.
I fully
Put
believe
your
this.
tinfoil hat on right now.
Let's wake up,
That's-
sheeple.
Wake up, sheeple, exactly. I think we've exhausted that topic.
No, you can't bang on too much about government conspiracies because they are real. Actually, I don't want to make someone believe in conspiracy theories, so I'm going to stop. If you're a conspiracy theorist, email
Comment.
my personal email
Yeah, write to us at an email that I don't know.
and convince us so that we can turn into a conspiracy theory podcast.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny
That would also be my worst nightmare.
and also funny.
And also, what's next?
What's next is a weird event that happened last week. The pub closed early.
Oh God!
This
yeah.
is early. That this time was 10:30 due to the football. So our Weatherspoons, which is our local that we tend to go to,
Yes, the shithole in which we reside.
the cheapest pub around. So basically, the first England game, I can't even remember who it was against.
Oh, it was England, Croatia. How do you not remember everything?
Because I hate football
It is
with a
pretty boring.
passion. And they were apparently understaffed, and the football hooligans were out in numbers to terrorising this poor Weatherspoons, and basically they weren't following COVID guidelines and not staying 6 per table, so they just closed the whole pub
Yeah.
and just ruined everyone's fun just because football people are annoying and like to get drunk.
Oh, they're actually just... it's not even all the football people. Like, the ones that sit at their table and moan at the TV and just drink Carling or whatever. I don't care about them.
They don't really bother anyone.
Yeah, they can be boring by themselves and not bother me. But it is the one...
The obnoxious people.
Usually people in their early to mid-20s that have come on holiday here from places like the Midlands and South Wales. Yeah. We get a lot of holiday makers from those areas, and some of them come down and just wreak havoc, honestly. They'll go into a pub and start fights with each other, shout, and they'll take glasses, they'll throw glasses on the floor. It's just absolute carnage, if I'm honest.
Yes, and it's just really annoying. I just don't like... if I'm at a pub, I don't want it to shut because someone's being a knobhead.
Yeah, like, I will never blame the pub staff.
No, I
things like this.
completely understand why they closed the pub, but
I sympathise with them and comply.
yeah.
Unlike the people they've asked originally, which are the cause for us not being allowed in. It's ridiculous. This happened again yesterday, actually. Yesterday, as of recording this.
Oh, what, the England versus Scotland game?
Yeah, England versus Scotland. None of the pubs were taking people, apparently, in our town.
Just because everyone's been on lockdown for ages, and then they're like, "Way pub, football," and they just fucking lose their shit. They have no
Yeah.
self-control. What's wrong with people?
Yeah, like, I went a bit nuts when things lifted, you know. Did my fair share of being a young'un and all that.
A youth.
Yeah, but there's a bit more to life than getting really, really, really drunk at the pub and watching football. I think these people just need to get a reality check, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I don't... Being interested in football isn't that bad. It's just... You've got to have more There's usually these football people, that is their personality.
Yes.
Let's just tear it into football people for a while. Like they'll literally just talk about the football, and that's all they can talk about because that's all they have knowledge on.
It's like how when you're just having small talk with someone at work or something, and you're like, "Oh, what are you having for tea tonight?" And they're like, "Oh, I'm having fish and chips," and you're like, "Fair enough. I literally don't care." And it's the same for football, but rather than having a normal conversation, they're like, "God, did you see that ludicrous display last night?
Did you see Wenger something?
Oh, that's the thing about Arsenal. They always try and walk it in, you know."
That kind of thing.
That kind of trash.
And that's why you need an app on your phone to talk to these people.
Yeah, you need... What's it
with proper Cockney pronunciation guide.
Yes.
If no one can tell, that's a massive IT crowd reference.
Yes. Comment down below if you prefer a pronunciation guide or a pronunciation guide.
But try not to speak too much Cockney, or you might get Cockney neck. Yeah. So be careful out there.
It's a dangerous playing field, honestly.
So now, with my hypothetical question of the day, and if humans lost the ability to see all colour except one, which one would you like to keep? So everyone now has to see everything in black and white, which is pretty boring. So for some reason, it's your decision to bring one colour back, and you can see, I'm guessing, various shades of that one colour. I'm guessing it's not just one specific shade, because that would really suck. So I'm just going to say one colour with multiple shades. What colour would you like to see?
Well, I was going to say a skin tone, but then I'm not going to choose a skin tone out of races, because that
would go into a very racial thing.
That would not be good. Because I thought, oh, well, that's easy. I just want to see people, innit? So, no, never mind. I'm seeing people.
It's a little bit more difficult than
that. Can I have the colour that oil makes when you shine light on it?
What, oil slick?
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. No. Because that's multiple colours.
Yeah, I tried to cheat the system there.
How dare you?
Oh, actually, this is cheating the system. I'd choose white because that's the full spectrum of wavelengths of visible light.
Well, unlucky. You can only see in white and black and white now.
Okay, never mind. Let's choose one for real. It'll probably be blue because I'm a boy, you know?
Yeah.
Blue is for boys.
That is correct. Good job. I was going to pick like purple or something because that colour looks pretty awesome, especially against like no other colours. Just being able to see purple would be pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I would have said red, but I think I'd just be angry all the time, you know?
Maybe you would.
I'd go sicko mode.
I just realised that this question is just a really long-winded way of saying what's your favourite colour.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realise until just as I was reading it, which is really not that helpful.
Well, yeah, my favourite colour is probably orange. I don't have a favourite colour. I can't choose one. They're all so good.
Wow, colours, am I right?
Hell yeah.
I'm sorry to any... Yeah, let's not go there. That's all I've got, unfortunately.
Oh, well, I did have one thing to bring up.
Okay.
Regarding the football hooliganism in... I was about to say where we live then. In the town in which we live. I went out for a meal with my mum and one of my sisters, and said hooligans who probably got our Wetherspoons shut down were at the pub I was eating at. This was a bit more of a high class pub, a bit more bougie. Get what we mean. And they were outside, and there was like a bloody tissue on the side of a bench, so I'm pretty sure there was a fight. And we had been sat down for half an hour, and it took them half an hour from them getting kicked out to them actually leaving.
That's really annoying.
Yeah, I quite like watching people make fools of themselves.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining, especially if not a lot's going on
definitely.
at the time.
But it was clearly making some other people annoyed. And
yeah, but if you've been told to leave, you're clearly being annoying to everyone. So you're now aware that no one wants you there, and yet you still continue to be there for an extra half an hour when it's necessary. That takes some balls, I guess.
People just seem to keep digging down. Like, when they start digging a hole, they don't stop. Especially when they're drunk, I guess.
Yeah, this is like the thing about being right. People they will go to all lengths just to prove that they're right. Even
if they use backwards logic, like they use a statement which is completely false to back themselves up. It gets to a point where you kind of have to agree with them and then just tell them, right, you've got to go there. Okay, thanks for your explanation. Now leave me alone.
Yeah, I find these people very frustrating to talk with, because you'll try and have a conversation with them and you'll try and discuss some differences of opinions, and then they just won't be able to see your point of view at all. They'll just talk about their point of view and think, oh well, if they're not agreeing with my point of view, then they are wrong. Therefore, I don't even know how to describe it. It just is frustrating.
They're narrow-minded pooheads.
Yes, that's a perfect way of putting it.
So, is that the exhaustion of your topics?
I guess so.
All right. Well, let's pull out the reserve, shall we?
Let's find out if we have a little bit more to talk about.
As you can see, we are well prepared.
Well prepared as usual.
Let's see.
Pretty
sure this happened on the first episode. It went silent, and we had to have some
and
background.
I started playing that.
Yeah, pretty amazing, if I'm honest. How
the human mind works.
Right, let's talk about it's happening.
Oh, we've got the last resort coming out.
We're pulling out the MP40s and
talk about Dead Snow
and other World War II weaponry to talk about Dead Snow. Right, this movie is rubbish. That's
should be well established from the get-go. Please do not watch this movie. That's all I can say.
No, I watched it for a first time a little while ago, like sometime last year, and I think I must have been relatively tipsy to drunk when watching this, because I remember enjoying it, but on a second watch, it's actually really boring, and the dialogue, oh my god. When characters are talking on screen, you literally want to stop watching and go to bed.
I think the only thing is the actual look of the zombies actually look pretty good.
Yeah,
that was the only reason that it was vaguely interesting, was because the zombies looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like they spent all their budget on having computer-generated zombies, and so with the leftover money... Wait, no, there wasn't any leftover money.
So they just got their mates to star in this film.
That's what it feels like.
They were not paid. These were not good actors, unfortunately.
No, and it was kind of like... It was almost a chicken and the egg situation, where they had this cabin and they had this snowmobile, which is featured a lot, quite gratuitously. I think that's the correct use of that word. Enjoying my good...
I'm not sure.
My good wordplay. But Yeah, I really don't know why this was made. It definitely wasn't made from like an art point of view because it's terrible. And if it was, it failed on an unprecedented level.
Maybe it was for the money. Maybe they just wanted to get famous.
Ooh,
or something like that.
How about this was for a tax break?
What do you mean by that?
So, maybe they wanted to go on holiday.
Yeah.
And rather than pay for the holiday, they off-write all the props and the sets against the tax that they have to pay for.
So they actually did want to go to a cabin in the woods. Then, so they got to ride around on a snowmobile. Did some like that thing where they're sat in the rubber ring and like zooming along, being pulled along by the snowmobile, not ski-mobile. And then you've got, what else did they do? Some sledging. They did that.
So yeah, rather than having to pay for this holiday, they made this movie so that they could do it for essentially free and maybe make some money off it. I don't know if this made any money.
I hope it didn't because they don't deserve it. But that is an interesting theory.
Maybe. We'll never know. Another thing about this film is something Tom said. He mentioned when the snowmobile sequences were happening, it's like one of those PS2 X snowboard games or whatever, snowboard cross games.
Oh yeah, it was like, no, there's like music kicked in. It was like I think it was like heavy metal or something like that. And you have just him like flying around on this snowmobile. It looked like he was a very good driver.
Yeah, he seemed to be
he was
doing
very skilled, and it was pretty cool to watch that.
But it did feel like it was straight out of an old video game.
Yeah, it was like some X Games kind of thing.
Cause like,
which is like, I think it was like a program on, I don't know what channel, some American thing called X Games, and they just have extreme sports.
Yeah, it reminded me of what's it called? Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 8.
Oh yeah.
But with a snowmobile, obviously. It's just heavy metal and punk playing whilst you're going around on a vehicle doing tricks and stuff, which is exactly what happened in this film.
Yeah. You could tell that he was just having loads of fun. And you said a thing that they just had like, they just had a cabin, and maybe they just had a snowmobile, and they were just like, you know what, how can we make a film about these two things? What is interesting? Zombies. How could I make this more interesting? Nazi zombies. What would be more interesting about it? Sex scene when someone's taking a shit and then they just immediately start having sex after a guy's had a shit.
That's what I was going to mention.
No hand washing. That was one of the most disgusting scenes I've ever seen. And they have people getting torn up by a zombie, but yeah, I found that way more disturbing.
They do have hand washing, actually. The girl comes into the outhouse in which this guy, I think he's called Erland, is taking a poo, and he wipes, and then she licks his fingers, and it is really quite something to behold. And they proceed to, what's a good word? Have
intercourse.
Intercourse, yeah. Above a vat of feces and
it's like, so there's no plumbing. This is gonna stink, this place.
Yeah, it would,
because it's just some fat fucking guy is just taking a shit. Right, and then I've written this down. The girl like licks his hand, and like sucks on his finger and stuff like that, which was really off-putting.
I just said that.
Did you actually say that?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was when you were looking through your notes.
I was trying to find that thing, that little bit of information.
Yeah.
Whilst not listening.
I did have another thing about this film I wanted to say, but I completely forgot.
Was it about how the gold was really shiny?
Oh no, but we can talk about that. This was like Pulp Fiction-esque kind of Marcellus Wallace's soul, whatever that MacGuffin is. Who cares?
The
That's
briefcase.
It's a different debate. But when that opens, I'm pretty sure the effect for it is just a light bulb in a case, and it shines a bright golden light on their face. And the exact same thing happens in this movie when they find the Nazi gold under the cabin, and they open it up, and there's a glowing light coming from it. Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How crazy.
I'm pretty sure it was a reference to Pulp Fiction.
Probably. I would imagine so, with all the
Yeah,
culture
considering
references in it.
Terminator, and because they say I'll be back and stuff, and they straight up talk about the Evil Dead films, as I mentioned earlier. Really annoys me.
And one guy does an Arnold impression.
Yes, which I did just say.
Did you actually?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Something that I wanted to say just before we end this
Okay.
was the guy that has intercourse over a toilet. Luckily, this guy gets his head torn open by some zombies, and then his brain splats on the floor.
Funny enough, that's
which
what I
is
was
the best karma I've ever seen in a movie ever.
It's brilliant. It's probably the best part of the film, if I'm perfectly honest. It's Shaun of the Dead start. There we go, another reference. It is literally Shaun of the Dead.
It is kind of like that.
Because they pull him through a window, like Dylan Moran's character in Shaun of the Dead does. And rather than rip his stomach open and eat his guts, they rip his face open. And his brain splats on the floor.
which is really comical.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So watch the film for those 3 or 4 moments.
Yeah.
To have a mixture of emotions of anger and
sadness and
joy
regret
and disgust.
Yeah. Oh yeah, disgust.
But if you don't like torturing yourself with films, don't watch it.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend anyone to watch this, to be completely honest.
I'd recommend it if you've come back from a night out of watching football and closing pubs, and you've got your kebab and you want to sit down with your friends and just have something on. Then maybe watch it.
Maybe, yeah.
But I'd consider something else first, if I'm honest.
Tron Legacy.
Yes, which might come next week.
Hopefully.
We'll see.
We'll see.
But I think that wraps it up.
That wraps it up.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening, anyone that's listening.
Yes, I hope you enjoyed this instalment of the series.
Unfortunately, this one wasn't structured that well.
No, this
so
one was
we apologise.
Free verse kind of thing. And we have been running on a time limit because I've got to go to work.
Anyway, goodbye.
Thanks for listening. See you next time.